Also, don't forget my Patreon. Check out my Patreon. I got a lot of great content on there, a lot of new content coming up. Memberships only start at $1. For $1, you could check out the Patreon page. And if you like what you see, become a member, and we could get to know each other and chit chat. So please check out my Patreon. As you all know, I just got back from Las Vegas. It was a great trip. I did the Mob Museum Thursday night. It was a great experience. Everything went over well. It was well received. The feedback's been phenomenal. They're actually talking about doing some more stuff for me in the future, which is really good to hear. So it was definitely a big success. It's going to be edited and then released on YouTube, so everybody will get a chance to check it out. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll let you know when that link's going to go up on YouTube, but they said they're in the editing process now, and they'll be releasing it soon. So as soon as I know, you'll know. But it was really a great experience. It was the first time I really did something on that scale. It went over really well. I was very pleased with it. So that's my little take on my trip to Vegas. And Vegas was really good. The town was packed. We had a really good time. I didn't lose no money, which is always good. So yeah, it was definitely a successful trip. I'll be in New York next weekend. I'll be in Manasquan Beach for this swim that they're going to have in the cold weather for a charity. I'm not going to go swimming, but I'll be at the event. And then Sunday, I'll be watching the Super Bowl. Hopefully, Kansas City will lose. I'm rooting for Philly. I really don't like either team, actually. It's the two teams that I was hoping didn't get into the Super Bowl that got into the Super Bowl. The two teams that I rooted against the whole playoffs are in the Super Bowl. So, but I'm going to be pulling for Philly because I just don't want to see Kansas City win. I think they're getting all the calls. Everything's going their way, so I'm going to look forward to that. And then Monday, I'm going to be in the studio with Business Insider doing a show about mob movies. And Saturday, I'm going to be at the ALS swim. So that's going to be fun. Okay, I have some. It's the Valentine's Plunge, actually, in Saskatchewan, New Jersey. It's for ALS. So if anybody wants to come out there, that's where I'll be Saturday. Sunday, I'll be in Manhattan, somewhere watching the Super Bowl. And then Monday, I'm doing Business Insider. And we're going to critique all the mob movies, Goodfellas, Casino, The Sopranos, and on and on. So that should be interesting. Just waiting for some questions to come in. What was your favorite thing about the Mob Museum? Well, actually, it was really cool. I took a little tour of it before the program started, and they have one section about Murder Incorporated, and they actually have the electric chair that they got the electric chair in from Sing Sing, and they had a big thing on the wall of members of Murder Inc. and of course Happy Mayoni and the Dasher were there, and so my family's entwined with them. You know, those are the two guys that actually were father figures for my father, Fat Andy, after my grandfather died in 1932. And I actually married Happy's great niece, Alice. So that was cool to see, you know, because our families are entwined together. So that was cool. But the whole museum is really, they really did a good job. If you go to Vegas, check it out. It's really worth the money, and you'll enjoy it if you're into the mob stuff. Hey, Anthony, when Sammy killed Ralph Spiro, was that Angelo Spiro's uncle? Also, no one really ever speaks about Angelo Seppi. Was he a scumbag or a nice guy? You know, I didn't know him. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll ask Sammy, but I'll get back to you on that. What's up? Sending love from Scotland. Lisbo, love your content. Just know it's facts. Peace, brother. Thanks, Scotland. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. This is from Tony. The NFL is fixed just like every other sport. It's sort of looking that way, isn't it? I don't think it's fixed. I think they're just leaning towards Kansas City. They're giving them a little help, a little push. I don't think it's blatantly fixed, like they're going to throw the game. They're just going to help Kansas City along to win the game. I don't think it's blatantly fixed. That would be illegal. People would go to jail if that ever came out. But I definitely believe the refs are, the fix isn't concerning. Let's help Kansas City along. This is from Kim. Me too, really hoping Buffalo, but what are you going to do? Yeah, Buffalo, we'll see what happens. Michael Blade, good morning. Good morning to you. Anthony Ellis, Bruno Indicato, Anthony Bruno, I know him good. He's married to Kathy Burke. He did a lot of time. He was away in Allen with my old man and a couple of guys. As a matter of fact, he ate dinner every night with my father in Allenwood. They were on the same gallery, same tier. The last time I saw him was in when I got arrested for the murder in 2005. We were in MDC together, and he was on the case, Vinny Gorgeous's case. And we actually met in the bullpen, and he got me a sweatshirt because it was freezing in there. It was freezing in that place. And I had when they took me off the street, I had on was a short sleeve shirt, and he got me a hoodie. Thank God. Otherwise, I might have froze to death in there. So yeah, Anthony, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, without a doubt. He was in on a couple of homicides. He was on the commission case. He might be the only one that's still alive from that commission case. Let's see what we got here. Duke, really enjoying your podcast. Question: what happened to Mr. Delacroce's daughter, Tony? As an aside, congrats on your decades of sobriety. Thank you for all you do for helping others. So Tony and I were very, very close, very close. The last I heard of Tony, she was actually working for OTB in New York. She was answering the phones, taking bets over the phone because it's legal. I haven't spoke to her in many years. But the last I heard, we went out a lot together in the 70s and 80s. We partied a lot together, me, her, and her brother before he, went on the lam and passed away. We were very, very close, her and I, very close, very close. But I haven't spoken to her, unfortunately, in a really long time. I hope she's well. But the last time I spoke to her was actually in the 90s, I think. Before I went to prison in 96, she was living in Manhattan, in Lower Manhattan. She had owned an apartment there that her father purchased for her before he passed away. And she was actually working for OTB on the phones. I'm sure by now she's probably retired. Gary Player, thank you for stepping up, especially for John A. Light. Everyone likes to bash the poor guy, but I feel he deserves to be recognized for all the work he put in for that ungrateful, spoiled little punk Junior. Junior's lucky to be alive. A lot of guys were out looking for him to pull the card. He's lucky he got out when he did. I appreciate your honesty and clearing the air like you did. Salute, Anthony. Yeah, he's referring to the video I just put out about the interview with Patrick Ben-David. It is what it is. Check out the video and you'll get all that information. This is from Rob. Why did Junior and Ayla have a falling out in 91? I just started the video, so I like to mention it. I think they had the fallout when they got arrested on that case. I mean, from my knowledge, they were always friends. Ayla stood away from him, because he was dealing drugs, but Junior always had a piece of that operation. Him and Ronnie One Arm. So, I think they parted company after they all got arrested on that case.
40 hits, 3 of them number 1.
I don't know what that was. When Junior got made, did you already know that he was 100% Italian, or did it come up in conversations? He's not 100% Italian, but you know what? I didn't even realize it at that time that he wasn't 100% Italian. But they changed the rules for Buddy the Cat Laforte. Joe the Cat's son, he wasn't 100% Italian, and that's when they really changed the rule to get him straightened out. Buddy, he was a friend of mine. This is from Spider. How come Fat Andy didn't like Paul Castellano? I know someone is going to say that it's because Castellano wasn't a real gangster, but I wonder if there's another reason. Yeah, Fat Andy and Tony didn't like Paul Castellano because he was greedy. He was a greedy fuck. My father really Tony Lee disliked him more than my old man, much more than my old man, because my old man, because they had the tapers union. They ran the tapers union in New York, and my father always handled it, serviced it. So when he went away, and Paul Castellano sent for my Tony Lee to find out about the tapers union, he really had no answers for him, and he got Paul didn't like it, and he reprimanded Tony Lee over it because he didn't know what was going on in the union because my father, Fred Andy, always handled it. So Tony Lee disliked him a lot more than my father, a lot more. Francesco, any idea why the beef with A-Line and Sammy, what started it? You know, I don't want to get in the middle of that. You know, they're both my friends. I wish, you know, they should really make up. I believe it was over, from what I hear from A-Line, it was over money. But I'm not going to get into that. What started it, what didn't start it. I just wish it would come to an end. Tony, yeah, I think I see what Anthony said about he is so much. I don't know what that means. Ellis, Italian gang versus Irish gang, 1930. I wasn't around then, but I'm sure there was a lot of friction. Thanks for the Luciano for donation. Thank you very much. Any Stephanie Magdanano stories? I know he was the longest tenured boss of the family, approximately 50 years of the Buffalo family. Yeah, you know, Joe, I know Joe Tadera. He was the boss after him, and his son, who's the boss now. I don't know much about Stefano, but I know that Joe Tadara was a really nice guy. He used to come in our restaurant in Florida named Dano's. He was a snowbird, always with a smile on his face, always had a cigar in his mouth, in his hand. A really good guy, a lot of money. They made a lot of money in Buffalo. Here's one from War Eagle. Did you have any contacts outside of the Northeast, like in Chicago, Kansas City, Detroit, when you were in the life? We definitely had contacts in Philadelphia, big time in Philadelphia. When I got married in 77, I did receive some envelopes from guys in Chicago. My father was doing something with them with construction. He used to sit down with a couple of wise guys from New Orleans also in Florida at the Diplomat. I met a couple of them. Detroit, we actually had a run-in with the Detroit mob in the 70s. We were doing something in Hazleton Park racetrack, which was run by them, but we didn't know it at the time. And, you know, my father had to come to Detroit and sit down with them. So, yeah, we had interactions with a lot of other families. This one is Eyes Don't Lie. You're by far one of the honest mob podcasters, and your dad's name rings bells louder than the church. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tony Cheech, any Russell Buffalino stories? Anthony, I know he was the powerhouse and a low-key, very, very powerful man, and I heard that brought him in after Anastasia got hit to calm things down. I told you, Buffalino from Pittston, he came to my wedding. He was good friends with my old man and Tony Lee. And then the other Buffalino was the boss of the Banana family, which was another good friends of my own man. And he was very good friends with my father, the boss of the Banana family, for many, many years. But both Buffalinos were powerhouses. Actually, both of them were. And don't forget, if you join my Patreon, you can connect with me twice a week live on reformedgangsters.com. And the memberships only start at $1. So whoever's not on my Patreon, for $1, come check it out. This is from Francesco. Did you ever cross paths with Joe Pistone, a.k.a. Donnie Bresco? You know, I actually did, and I didn't know it. I actually ran across him in the Diplomat Hotel in Miami when they were running around together, and I didn't know it was him until I actually saw the movie. And at the end of the movie, they put pictures up of the real people, and I saw and they actually had a snapshot of them at the Diplomat Hotel, and I said, oh my God, damn, I remember him. So I actually did run across him, but I didn't know it at the time. This is from Ryan. Have you got any more Tommy DeSimone stories which we haven't heard yet? You know, Tommy DeSimone and I spent some time together. I told you about unfortunately, the free base story. We just used to go out, party. He used to take me to clubs with him. He used to take me to the on Monday night to Latin night at this club on Queens Boulevard, Conrad's Cloud Room. I used to go with him with the Hippopotamus. I mean, just stories about us going out to clubs, drinking, partying. He was a really fun guy to be around. He had a lot of charisma, a lot of big personality. What's it feel like to look back and have 36 years clean and sober? It was a long journey. Some years were great and some years weren't so great. I spent some time in prison clean. I didn't use no matter what. It was a journey. It was a big, big journey, but I'm glad I went on it. If I didn't, I would be dead. So, when I got clean it was literally life and death. It was a life and death decision because I knew at that point that if I didn't stop, I was going to die. There was no doubt in my mind that if I didn't stop, I was going to die. So thank God I made the decision to stop. This is from Sean Jerry. Were you ever around Franzese? He's not popular boss, but the story of how he got into ACI. I wasn't around him, but I knew his nephew. I remember when he got convicted, he was actually the first person to get convicted of a RICO. And I remember when that happened, my uncle told me that it was all over for the mob. He was actually the test case. He was the boss of the Genovese family. He was actually the test case for the RICOs. Let's see, what do we got here? Christopher. Got my reformed sweater on. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. And Tony's reviewing his membership on Friday. Thank you very much for that, Tony. I appreciate it. What do you say to someone who knows they need to recover but are stuck? Only you can decide for yourself. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, are you tired of the consequences? If you're tired of the consequences, go get help. If you're not tired, see me, I would love to have a drink, smoke a joint, but you know what? Unfortunately, I know there may be consequences behind that, and I'm not willing to accept the consequences. So I don't drink a glass of wine. I don't smoke a joint. Only you can make that decision. Only you could get yourself clean and sober. Nobody else could do it for you. Okay, so that was fun. I know it was short. I'm still a little worn out from my Vegas trip. I'm still a little jet lagged. I got my World Convention Narcotics Anonymous shirt on. Right now I'm going to go make an NA meeting at 10:30. That's what they do on Sundays. I make an NA meeting at 10:30. That's to further my recovery because even though I'm clean and sober 36 years, I still have to, it's maintenance, just like a car and an air conditioner, any kind of machinery. You have to you have to get tune-ups and oil changes and stay on top of the maintenance. And that's what recovery is all about, staying on top of the maintenance of my recovery. And, I'm going to go to this meeting at 10:30. I'm going to meet my sponsor there. I'm going to meet a couple of my sponsee brothers, and I'm going to attend the 12-step meeting. And, and that's going to be starting my Sunday. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, if you like my content, please hit the bell and subscribe and ring the bell. And please, please check out my Patreon. It's only $1. Check it out. Become a member. We could have Q&As twice a week. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and check it out.
Hey.
Yeah, how was that? All right?
Yeah, great job. That was about, I don't know, but almost 30 minutes, and you had 150 people on.
Wow.
Yeah,
people. That was good.
Yeah, that was really good.